So for the last 30 days from September 2nd to October 2nd, I have been running 6.2 miles every day. Well, almost every day. I have taken 5 days off in 30 days. So 25 out of 30 days, I have run 6.2 miles or more. There is a couple 11-mile run and a 13, I don't know, I did a half marathon one day. I just decided to. And what I am going to show is the percentage improvement in my fitness, the amount of weight that I have lost doing this. And keep in mind, I haven't changed my diet. I am basically, there's the old saying, you can't outrun a bad diet. I kind of think you can, actually. I haven't changed my diet, and I'm basically just running. So I'm eating virtually the same that I always have. I've always struggled with my weight. I've hovered over 210 pounds for about 10 years, and I've tried multiple diets. I've mentioned this before. I've tried, keto, paleo, vegan, carnivore, you name it, right? And I always ran into the same things, and I get fatigued. Diets just are not working for me. And I think that's because I'm so highly active. I am always riding my dirt bike. I do that 3 or 4 days a week, 2 to 3 20-minute motos every single time I ride. And if you're not a dirt biker, that's 2 to 3 20-minute sessions of a calorie burn of probably over 1,000 calories. Heart rate's at 180 beats per minute, 160 beats per minute. So it's pretty fatiguing. So I said, I need the food, I need the sustenance, I need the fuel in my engine, my body engine. So let's try to just outrun and see if just doing a lot of zone 2 running can drop the weight and improve the fitness. So yeah, let's dive in.
All right, so this first graph here is giving me a big picture overview of my runs from September 2nd to October 2nd. So that's 30 days. Okay, the blue bars show my total run time. And you can see there's a couple runs where I don't know why, but I decided to run 11 miles and 13 miles. So those ones kind of throw everything off a little bit. But if you can see, there's a downward trend from where I started, and my heart rate is staying in the same zone, my zone 2 or Phil Maffetone zones, math method. I'm staying in the same zones, but my running time is decreasing while keeping my heart rate steady. And that was a question I got from somebody. Should you be chasing PRs while doing zone 2 training? No, but the PRs will come because you are training your body to run at the same heart rate, but fitness will improve. And that's why I'm doing this, is to prove that zone 2 works. Now, if I was doing high intensity interval training mixed with zone 2, I would be all over the place. Wouldn't know if I was improving fitness wise or if I'm just pushing my body beyond its limits. And I really don't know what's going on, but doing just strictly zone 2 training, and my only other form of working out is on the dirt bike when I'm doing riding, and that's not like being on the dirt bike and throwing in 20-minute motos. That's nothing new to me. I've been doing that for the last 20 plus years. So, that doesn't really factor into improving my fitness because I've been doing that, like I said, for the last 20 plus years. So my fitness has been improving. So again, blue bars show my total run time. Green bars show distance, which is mostly 10Ks. And you can see there's the couple random ones. So 10K is my minimum. I don't run anything less than 10K except for my first 2 days. The red bars are tracking my average heart rate. The gray columns are marking my rest days. So you can see I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rest days. Last weekend, I was racing out of town, staying at a hotel. I was with my son. So I said, all right, these are going to be my 2 rest days. But I ran every day. So, minimum 5 days a week that I am running. And the white borders highlight my gym treadmills. And so I do run faster at the gym because I'm not on an incline. My outdoor runs have an incline, and my best PRs, under an hour, 10Ks are at the gym. So you can see how I started slower in the beginning. Over time, the run started to compress. By the end of 30 days, I was running the 10K distance 22% faster than when I started at the same heart rate. That is a huge improvement. For someone that's already somewhat fit, I'm not a sedentary person. I ride a lot, And this is my fitness improvement just from adding running in. And I do feel it on the bike as well. Riding my dirt bike, I just feel like, tell me to go 20, 30 minutes, no problem, no arm pump, really not much fatigue at all. And this is only in a 30-day window. So I am going to keep doing this. Of course, I'm going to keep documenting it. Right now, not a lot of people are viewing this, but it's just interesting to me and the people that are viewing it. It's good information. It just shows the effectiveness of Zone 2. You don't need some crazy HIIT workout with, a gym routine. All I'm doing is running right now, and it is definitely improving my fitness. All right, so the next graph, it's kind of hard to see the trend, and this reminds me of like when you're trying to lose weight, your weight is spiking, and that's why it's good to document and just see if there's an improvement over time, because mentally, some days I'm running 111, an hour 11, an hour 12, just because I'm tired, sore, my legs are tired. But like the days when I'm PRing, I'm getting personal best runs, and you can see, okay, that red line is the downward trend. So that's the 22%, gain that I have gained in my running. This line graph isolates running time for each run, shown by run number. Each dot represents one run, so you can see all my runs with the times. What's cool here is the line slopes downward over time. That's the trend of my improvement. So you can see, like I said, the 22% improvement. While I'm tracking this, I'm like, hey, I am improving, even though some runs are slow, but I'm just trying to recover and get back into it. The times are labeled in hours, minutes, seconds. Duh. So you can see clearly the drop from the 1 hour, 15-minute run down to several sub 1 hour runs near the end. It's going down. The first couple days were really hard. I was really slow, but you can see the downward trend. And then the next one we will go into will be the weight loss. Okay, so another reason I like recording this is I started at 220, and that was when I came home from Loretta's, and I did have a few drinks and stuff, so there might have been a little bit of water weight. But as soon as I started running the first week, I saw a crazy weight drop, and I know that was mostly water weight. But as you can see through time, and I've been taking waist measurements too. So I started out at 40 inches initially, where that little arrow is going down, the first arrow. I was at 40 inches, and then by week 2, I was at 38, and then this week I'm 37 3/4. So you can see, things have kind of slowed down, but I'm still in the downward progression, and you got to be, and most people know this, initially is going to be a big water weight drop, which isn't a fat drop. So you get all excited, I lost 10 pounds in 1 week. It doesn't matter. That's just water weight. Chug some water, drink some salt, and you're going to go right back to where you started. So, I started at 220 pounds with 40-inch waist on September 2nd. By October 2nd, I dropped to 207.3 pounds with a 37 3/4-inch waist. It's a 12.7 pound drop, more than 2 inches off my waist in 30 days, mostly from consistent Zone 2 running. So what I want to point out here is I did not change my diet. I am basically trying to outrun my diet, and they say you can't outrun a bad diet. Well, you can if everything stays the same. If your eating stays the same and you just add in running, you will drop weight. So for me, diets don't do much for me. My problem is when I diet that I do not eat enough food to maintain my fitness and my riding and working out. And what ends up happening is I will lose a little bit of weight initially, and then I will rebound right back to where I was because my body gets too fatigued when I'm out exercising. So for me, running makes more sense. I don't have to cut the calories. I can keep my calories the same, and basically I'm just increasing burn, which kind of goes against a lot of what you see on, YouTube or what you read about. It's diet is the most important thing. For me, maybe my body's different. Yeah, my diet's pretty good. It's not that bad. I don't eat a ton of food, but whenever I try to cut out a macronutrient or cut down calories, it works briefly for a week or two, and then it doesn't work anymore. I get sick, I get tired, I get fatigued. So for me, running and then just not really focusing on cutting calories is working wonders for me so far. So this is only day 30. We'll see where it goes from here. I'm going to keep doing it. And the just bullet points are, my running efficiency has definitely improved. My times are getting faster and my weight is steadily dropping, without dieting or burnout. And so those are the two things. Dieting always led to burnout for me. And I don't eat crap. I eat pretty decent. And this just goes to show that zone 2 training builds your aerobic capacity. It improves your fat utilization and lays the foundation for long-term fitness. My little experiment here is proving that this is something that is maintainable, and I'm adjusting it as we go. It started out that I was going to run every day. Well, that's too much with, riding motocross and doing all the stuff I do. So minimum 5, I'll have some 6 days a week ones, and like I said, if you found this helpful, just keep watching. I'll have them coming out about every week and, just see how far I can take it. Drop a comment if you got any questions, concerns, ideas, whatever. I'm open. I try to respond to everybody I can as frequently as I can. Thanks for watching.